first response for students at school, so boarding schools typically, is only available for students from the EU. Must also be returning home for every holiday. So if your student is actually planning to stay in homestay, then really they ought to be on limited guardianship, because we need to know a bit more about your student, how they will fit in with the families, that kind of thing. The family really need to consider, is the level of guardianship sufficient? Can the parents deal directly with the school about all academic issues, all pastoral issues? Can they deal with all transportation within the UK, either themselves or through school? All of these questions, they basically need to be able to do everything except for in an emergency, then study links would be available. There is some guidance now from NMS, which is National Minimum Standards from the UK government, which require guardians to get in touch with students termly. So there are some parents on first response who would actually prefer that we never spoke to the students, that they feel really guardianship isn't required and they just have it there for an emergency only. They don't want to, I think they think that it might confuse a student about who is this extra person. I'm afraid that, well, not, I'm afraid that's just a way of speaking in the UK. Unfortunately, even for those parents, even though that's their wish, the UK government requires us that it's mandatory that we contact students and check how they are. So we will be emailing students, and we can schedule calls with them as well if required. It's also really useful for parents to understand that even if a parent requests a certain level of guardianship, the school may say that that level of guardianship is not sufficient. So there have been in recent years some different regulations from the UK government, and each school interprets those regulations differently. So some schools are more strict about the requirements of guardianships and other schools are more flexible. So you need to check carefully your school's guardianship policy to check that the level of guardianship you have chosen meets the school's requirements. That is really important. Of course, we will do our best to highlight to you if you've chosen a level that isn't sufficient, but really the onus needs to be on you as parents choosing the guardianship and the guardianship level to make sure it meets the requirements of the school, because the school require you to have chosen a guardian that, as I say, meets their own requirements. Please do get in touch with us though if you're concerned about, well, perhaps it doesn't quite meet it, or you're not sure if it meets it. Get in touch with us. We have worked with schools throughout the UK and we get asked this question quite a lot. So I'm sure that we can find a solution or just reassure you.